Hello, and I'd like to welcome you all once again. I'd like to welcome you all once again to the old schoolhouse here in the village of Butterstone in Perthshire in Scotland for this another wee live concert. This is our 41st, so we're into series 3 now of the boxed set, and it's been strange, it's been it seems like it's an age since we did the last one because we had the whole week break, and it's kind of strange getting your head back into it all again after that. But we've had a great week here. Tatty Faces have been brilliant. They've been working in the garden and been a big help, so they're kind of earning their room and board. I'm getting so many requests, it's quite hard to decide what songs to do on these wee shows now. So what we've been doing is I've just been taking all the requests, putting them into Duncan's hat, and we've just been pulling them out. So this is the 4 that came out of Duncan's hat this afternoon. And so this is a newish song of mine, which in these uncertain times, you do really need to hang on to your dreams, And so we'll try it and see how we get on. It took such a long time. It took so much sadness and pain. All the lives of the young men, promise of youth washed away with the rain. It was forever forgiveness. Let's walk forward, your hand in mine. With all the beauty it gives us, failures cast to the ravage of time. Be still, my little one, your dreams are your tomorrow. Open your eyes to the warmth of the sun. Be still, my little one. Your dreams are there to follow, and you'll open your eyes and a new day's begun. And we all sang together a harmony clear and so strong. We'll hear it now and forever. Promise of time and wings of the song. And it was future, not fortune. It was peace in the clear summer sky. Old truths not forgotten, wonder willing and ready to try. Be still, my little one. Your dreams are your tomorrow, and you'll open your eyes to the warmth my little one. Your dreams are yours to follow, and you'll open your eyes and a new day's begun. Be still, my little one. Your dreams are your tomorrow. Oh, you'll open your eyes to the warmth of the sun. Be still, my little one. Your dreams are yours to follow, and you'll open your eyes and a new day's begun. Thank you very much, and that was my wee song. Be still, my be still, be still, my little one. And for those of you who've just joined us, although I assume that anybody who's going to be joining us will have joined us by now after show 41. But I always say this: we're in the actual old school here in Botterstone. And Botterstone's a wee village of about 10 houses, and was a wee artisan village for the farms that were in here. So there was a tailor, a blacksmith's, a joiner's shop, and a mill. And this was the wee school built in 1874, I think, and this serviced all the rural kids. And it's a wee village school that I went to, and my father went to in the 1930s. And I was very lucky to acquire it when it all got closed down. And I've made all my records in this very room, so it's a brilliant place to do these concerts from. So this was the next song that came out of Duncan's hat, and let's change guitars here. And I wrote this for a very restless friend of mine who just was just never content, you know. And I think contentment's one of the biggest challenges in life, being able to kind of get anywhere near. So it's called Restless Food, and we'll have a wee go at it and see how we go on. All right, guys, are we good to go? All right, Duncan. I must tell you, I've been driven demented for the last week with the wee teenager here, one practicing our fiddle. And I mean, I've played the fiddle myself, and I know it's awful difficult to play it, but my goodness me, it goes from dawn till dusk out in the shed, you know. And she's been pestering me to play it, but she's not quite there yet. Restless food, can't you wait a minute longer? Oh, restless food, can't you wait until you're stronger? For there's things that you don't know about harvesting the field. There's things that you don't know, and without a little time they may never be revealed. Oh, restless fool, don't leave them all behind you. Oh, restless fool, you'll disappear, they'll never find you. For there's things that you don't know, how the lady likes to dance. And there's things that you don't know, and without a little help, you may never find the chance. Restless fool, you don't hear a word I'm saying. Oh, restless fool, you can leave, but I am staying. For there's things that you don't know about this wild, elusive dream. And there's things that you don't know, and it's certain, sure, nothing is the way it seems. Oh, restless fool, oh, restless fool. Thank you very much, and that's my wee song, Restless Fool, which was the second song to come out of Duncan's hat this afternoon. And for those of you who've just joined us, I try and deal with this like it was, this is the 41st show we've done over the last 3 months, and I've been doing them like a little concert. I wanted it to be like a little concert, and so I've actually got rows of seats lined up down there. They're empty, but maybe in the near future I might be able, once they start to relax things a wee bit more, I might be able to get half a dozen friends sitting in here, and it would be quite nice to have a wee kind of, there's enough room for maybe half a dozen people to kind of socially distance in here, and so that would be quite nice actually after all the empty seats all these months, to have some people come and maybe join us. Maybe get my mother up, actually. She might even play a wee bit of that melodeon that I was showing you. She's watching down in Dunkeld. She'll be terrified now that I've even mentioned that. Anyway, I'm going to do this wee song, which I'm running out of space up here. These tatty faces have taken up all the space. So this is a wee song which I'll use my wee tenor for this, and this is the part of the show where I do a wee song for you all to join in with the chorus, and we've been getting great help from the tatty faces over the last couple of months. They've added a lot to the show, and it's been great to have all the kind of harmonies and things going on. So, and this is a wee song. I spend a lot of time up on the island of Lewis, and in fact, I have a wee house up there, and in fact, the ferries are going to be going back on again in maybe in a couple of weeks' time, so I'll be able to go back up and see all my pals up in Uig. But I've not been able to go up, but because the ferries have been shut down completely. So, but I got a boat. I maybe explained this the last time I sang this, but I had a boat when I went up because there's beautiful sea around Uig, and but my only experience as a Perthshire lad was the waters in kind of Botterstone Loch and Clooney Loch and these wee lochs around here. I had no idea that the ocean was such a terrifying place, you know. And I went out in that, it was a rib, and I went out in it, and I had no idea that there was just these huge waves and the swells and these huge holes would appear in the ocean. And luckily I had a couple of pals up there who could have taught me a lot about the sea. And this song's about one of them, called Calamangas, and they took me out in the fog and things like that, maybe go around in circles, and then said, turn the GPS off and now go back home. You know, and I'd drive for maybe 10 minutes, and they said, you realise you're actually driving out into the middle of the ocean. You know, you've got your kind of completely lost your sense of direction. And they were terrible to me up there, because I got a lobster pot. I always wanted to catch a lobster, and I had the boat, and I used to go and put this lobster pot out off one of the wee islands, and everybody would say to me, they say, yeah, you got a lobster yet? No, and no. And then one day I was going out to get my lobsters, and I noticed that a whole bunch of locals were in a boat following along with me, and I got to where my lobster pot was, and I started pulling it up, and down in the bottom of the ocean, down and through the water, as I was pulling the lobster pot up, I could see this huge, giant lobster in the pot. And I was shouting to them all on the other boats, I've got one, that's huge, it's a giant one. You know, and I was a bit disturbed by the fact that they all had their cameras and that out, and I noticed as the lobster came nearer the surface, it was bright red, and lobsters are not supposed to be bright red. And actually, when I got the lobster pot out, it was a plastic lobster that all my friends had the locals had put in my lobster pot when I wasn't there. And of course, when I was pulling the plastic lobster out of the lobster pot, all the cameras were going click, 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 click. So I'm still thinking of some way of getting back at them. Anyway, you sing, on the shoulders of the ocean, on the bare back of the sea, held in her eternal motion, someone to carry me. So it's on the shoulders of the ocean, on the bare back of the sea, held in her eternal motion, someone to carry me. And there's a wee bit that where we used to have when I played when I had the band, we had a wee whistle part, and we'll do that as well because it's quite cool. And we'll just do that as we go along. So this is the whistle part that we do a couple of times. You can sing this as well. Da da dee da. Try that, will you? One more time, we'll give you a louder time. You guys, here we go. Da da dee da. When first he rounded Pavimore and met the mountain waves alone, there was fear till there was fear no more. Wild Atlantic sun, and he learned her gentle, he learned her strong, till he could feel her every heaving breath, and he knew that he could do no wrong. Wild Atlantic sun, on the shoulders of the ocean, do that chorus again. Let me see if you get it right. On the shoulders of the ocean, on the bareback of the sea, held in her eternal motion, someone to carry me. But the sea roars dark round Gallen Head, and the wind has nowhere left to turn. And the broken rock, the waves will bleed, wild Atlantic sun. And there she sleeps, and there she roars, and in a moment surging foul becomes. It's a force to steal a sailor's life, wild Atlantic sun. Here we go, the chorus. On the shoulders of the ocean, on the bareback of the sea, held in her eternal motion, someone to carry me. Push a little bit. Da da dee da 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 da. Da da dee da 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 da. Da da dee da 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 da. Make a bit of noise. Da da dee da 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 da. Woo! Da da dee da 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 da. Da da dee da 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 da. Another waves when first he left the West Loch Road in gentle calm to sunset filled, with wondered eyes he dreamed so still, wild Atlantic sun. On the shoulders of the ocean, on the bareback of the sea, held in her eternal motion, someone to carry me. This is where you sing the chorus on your own, just for the tatty faces. Here we go. On the shoulders. Fantastic. That's fantastic. And I can tell that you've all got a wee refreshment sitting there beside you. You know, that's I'm getting the vibe here. That's so good. You should do it again. Have another wee slug of your wine, and then we'll do it again. Here we go. Right, have a slug. Okay. Have a slug of the port. Here we go. On the shoulders. shoulders motion on the bareback of the sea, held in her eternal motion, someone to carry me, someone to carry me, someone to carry me, someone to carry me, someone to carry me. Thank you very much. That was well done. And that's my wee song, Pubby Moore. And Pubby Moore was there's a Pubby Beg as well. And Pubby Moore is just big Pubby and little Pubby. And they were little islands off the beach and reef. So now we're going to do something. I'm going to do a wee experiment. Let me just put this tenor guitar back down on its wee stand. Yep. And so now that we're at show number 41, I love going out with my cameras and things like that and taking wee videos and things like that. So I thought I would try a wee experiment to see if this works. I know it's a live show, but I had a wee. I took my bike out and did a wee thing about the beavers. We've got beavers in Butterstone beavers, and we don't know if technically this will work. So I'm going to get Jenny to play the wee bit of video. It's about a minute long, I think it is. And we'll just see if this is something that you enjoy, because I'd like to do more of this sort of thing over the next weeks, and just to keep the shows a wee bit more kind of. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed this works. And while Jenny's playing this video, that gives me a wee opportunity to go and have a quick slug of my glass of port. And anybody else who's feeling the need can. So let's try and see if we can play the little video. Well, here I am sitting on the shores of Butterstone Loch. I'm actually sitting on a tree that's been felled by a new resident to the area, our Butterstone beaver. And you see the job he's done of knocking this tree down. It's incredible. They're not supposed to be here, they're kind of illegally introduced, but they originally would have been here all over the place, you know. And it's been brilliant to watch them kind of re-establish themselves around here. But you can't imagine that a beaver's teeth would be that sharp to fall, you know, to take this tree down. And I mean, if you look at the size of the chips that he's been, I mean, they're huge. I mean, I'd love to watch him doing it, and he's out there somewhere, but you don't really get a chance to see them very often. But anyway, it's so that was my wee video. I don't know whether you got that at all, or whether there was any audio with it. There's just me and Jenny here in the old schoolhouse, and our automated system that we've got set up. So we can't really test it. But somebody, I'm getting a thumbs up here. So my daughter and my son are kind of monitoring a few miles away. So they're saying that probably did come through. So yeah, sorry about the funny hat, but can you believe that you know? It's when I was growing up here, there was no word of beavers around it, and they're a blessing and a curse. You know, there's a lot of people go, because every time you go out, there's another tree down, and but it's brilliant. It's going to be brilliant for the kind of ecosystem of this whole kind of area. Anyway, this was another song which came up on the and this area around here where that loch is. That loch is just like sort of 500 yards from the house here, and in fact, I have to admit that I remember cycling across it on my bicycle in the winter one year when I was about 12. I came out in a cold sweat just remembering that. But anyway, This is another one of the songs that came up in the wee request. So, and then, like I said, this area is Athol, known as Athol. It was owned by the Duke of Athol originally, and he owned everything actually. And here's my wee parting song from Athol. Until we meet again, I wish you well. I hope your light shines easily. And until we meet again, it doesn't matter how we've done on Athol's side, I'll see you further on. And you may struggle, you may toil to support the walls around you, or lonely burn the midnight oil till the pools of bright will drown you. But until we meet again, I wish you well. Oh, I hope your light shines easily. And until we meet again, it doesn't matter how we've done on Athol's side, I'll see you further on. This day is all but done, and in the space between we will be afraid for what's to come, or we will gently dream on. But until we meet again, I wish you well. Oh, I hope your light shines easily. And until we meet again, it doesn't matter how we've done on Athol's side, I'll see you further on. You can sing it with me. Until we meet again, I wish you well. Oh, I hope your light shines easily. And until we meet again, it doesn't matter how we've done on Athol's side, I'll see you further on. Thank you very much, and that's Until We Meet Again. We song about Athol here, this part of Perthshire, and that brings us to the end of our wee concert here in Botterstone on this Saturday night. This is where I like to kind of sort of thank everybody, and particularly thank all the NHS workers, all the people that have been caring for us for the last, all the bin men, the people in the shops, all the people who've been looking after us all for the last 3 months, and I'll be forever indebted to you all for being at the front of the whole thing, at the coal face, and I hope you're all kind of looking after each other, taking care of each other, staying cheery, because that's one of the most important things, is try and kind of keep yourself kind of from getting too... Things are easing up a wee bit, but everybody has to be very, 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 very careful, and it's a shame that some people aren't, but that's just the way... that seems to be the way of the world. But anyway, before we leave you, we're going to play a wee fiddle tune, just because it's a Saturday night, and I'm going to play a wee fiddle tune, and Jenny's going to try and set the buttons in operation, run down to the piano, and maybe with a wee bit of luck, we can get a wee bit of piano as well. So we'll just grab my fiddle, and this is a wee slow air called Mr. and Mrs. MacLean of Snago, and it's a wee tune that I wrote for my mum and dad, and then there's a wee tune which was part of the tune that I wrote, but which was part of a thing called Perthshire Amber, which we used to do with the classical string section. So if I remember it, because I don't play much fiddle anymore, and these days, and I love playing the fiddle, but you need to be playing a lot of fiddle to be kind of on top of it. So we'll just give it a wee go. So when I stop talking, Jenny will press the relevant buttons and run down to the piano. Now I have to wait until Jenny turns off the reverb, otherwise it'll sound like I'm in a cathedral. Anyway, well done, Jen. That was poor Jen running up and down there. Anyway, we thought we'd leave you with that wee tune, and thank you very much for joining us. We'll be here again next week at the same place, the same time. And if you've enjoyed it, if you've been watching from somewhere interesting, or even if you're watching from, dare I say it, Blairgowrie, which is where I went to high school, and it's a very interesting town, Blairgowrie. I love it. And but if you leave a wee message on the Facebook page and let us know what you're up to. So have a good week. You all take care of yourselves, look after each other, and we'll just have. We actually had a wee barbecue with because we can have a couple of people at the house now. We had a wee barbecue with Nigel, the port man, and my friend Pete Caban and Liz. And it was lovely. We were out there. There was only one problem, that Duncan Tattyface got a bit too many Gale gins down him, and started being a wee bit kind of obstreperous, and he started talking in Tatty. I didn't realise that there was a wee kind of dialect, a wee language called Tatty, and he was singing all these dirty songs in Tatty. Anyway, so night, you all take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye-bye.